Hello, my name is Thabiso Mahlapi. I am the head and founder of BlackBird Books, a publishing imprint based in Johannesburg. We publish black writers who we believe would not have been heard outside of BlackBird Books. This YouTube channel, which is spanking new, is our aim at extending our reach into your hearts, into your heads. We want to get beyond the pages and go beyond the writers that we publish, and really talk to friends of literature, friends of BlackBird Books, and have conversations that help extend and create a culture of reading, and what that culture is, and how we immerse ourselves in it. Our first guest today is Marah, Louw, who is one of the few first people that were published under the imprint back in 2017. Her book is called It's Me, Marah, and it's an interesting look at the life that she has lived as an entertainer in South Africa. I am sitting here with Marah, Louw, who is one of the very first people that were published under BlackBird Books. Her book came out exactly 2 years ago from now. So counting back 2 years ago, we had this very big fancy launch in Soweto. It's probably one of the fanciest launches that I've ever had because, book budgets are very tiny. But Marah was like, no ways, I'm having a very big, very fancy catered. We had a 3-course meal. We all dressed up and it was fun. So I'm sitting here with Marah. Thank you, Ma, for joining us for our very first sit-in as BlackBird Books channel.
Wow.
Look, I want us to talk about you, the artist, the South African. And I remember the first time that I saw you, it was took you into account was on Muvhango. When Muvhango first came on, and there you were, Meg Catherine, in this elegant robes and clothes, and that's when I started knowing who you are, and then later on there would be idols, and that was a very big thing that you were on. And then, so who introduced us?
Nomsa Mwamuka.
Oh yes, it was Nomsa. Nomsa wrote to me, and I remember being so fascinated because what I try to do with the work is I try to archive or put into like some kind of vault the people that we know, the stories that we know, the things that are familiar to us. And so for me to have someone who's been on SABC2, which means every black household in this country, and that we could take your story and put it into a book and leave it there for future generations to find, was very exciting. But tell me and tell the people why you wanted to do a book.
For a long time, I was starting to get to a point where I thought, I need to jot everything down,
And is this you feeling like you're running out of time, or are you feeling like I've got so much, my life has been so much that I need to put everything together?
And I just felt the timing was right. I was over 60 years old. And my brain is still working, my memory is 100%. I can't wait too long to do this because people get older and they start wanting to rewrite their life, and people will be going, that never happened. So I have to, my facts must be accurate, and because there's so much that has happened in my life, a lot of highs and a hell of a lot of lows.
A hell of a lot of lows, yeah.
So to get into that space was not easy. It was not easy.
And that is one of the elements about writing that I want to talk about, that I'm finding that a lot of the non-fiction books that we do, so from our catalog, I'm talking Exit, Holding My Breath, which one else? No, I can't think of any now. Anyway, but a lot of the non-fiction books that we do are really a means for people to heal themselves. And I went to my psychologist tells me all the time, is why don't you write your pain? You know, why don't you write your memories so that they can, you know, that you can go through them and unpack them for yourself? And did it do that for you? Were you able to heal yourself or begin to heal yourself?
I think I began to heal myself. But it's not an easy journey to heal from certain things. Certain things just don't go away, you know. And I was in an interview past Sunday. I think it was 7:02 morning breakfast show. Yes. And Pamelo, I think her name is. Pamelo, yes. Lovely girl. You know, I thoroughly enjoyed.
And she's so intelligent. And she loves her books and she reads books before she interviews people, which is very important. I could tell
because she was like, she knew every episode of my life, and you know, she was like reading it back to me without looking at the book. And I was very impressed. She was not just throwing me with questions. But as she asked me the same question, have you been able to heal? And I expressed exactly how I feel. Yes, most of the things I've managed to heal. I have even forgiven some of the horrific things that have happened to me, the abuse, and I've decided, you know, I can't carry this baggage of anger for the rest of my life. And I've forgiven, you know, the people who abused me. I've forgiven my ex-husband, although I haven't seen him since that horrible day when he called me.
Maybe the Lord is saving you.
Yes.
Because who needs reminders?
And I've forgiven Tapelo. You know, I don't hate him like I did when I was writing the book. I don't hate him anymore.
Tapelo is interesting, and I think when we were working on the book, I could see the forgiveness start to seep in. Yes. Because yes, you'd be angry and you'd remember the things that he'd done to you, but you would laugh. Yes. When you recall some of the stuff, like, I mean, you know, so I think when you're able to laugh like that at certain things, that you know, you start to move on. But your healing, I mean, and maybe I should say healings. Is there such a word in English? No. Healing.
Yeah, it's healing.
Okay. Yeah. Because yours was layered. It was from so many things. You know, there was family in it. There was trauma. There was death, horrific death. There was learning of truths that had been, you know, hidden from you. Then there was Tapelo. Then there was
Bill,
the Scot.
Yes.
And then also like a thing that, you know, when I went to go watch Nina Simone, the Four Women, the play, I remember thinking, I would love for every black woman to watch this, because it speaks about, you know, the subtle things that you feel the world doing to you, but you don't know if you're going crazy. You don't know if it's you. But it was such an affirmation to say that, you know, all those little structural and systematic and, you know, sexist, you know, violence that you felt, that it was real. And I feel like with you, just from the time you went into this industry, that there were so many, sometimes subtle, sometimes not so subtle, issues that you faced as a black woman in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
And it's so wild that when you listen to people talk today, those things still prevail.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, how do we begin to move forward? How do we navigate?
It's a very difficult space to even think about how do we navigate through this. Now, getting back to the healing, like I said, I've forgiven this one, in fact, I've forgiven most. But there's still one situation that is very difficult to get through. Yeah. And it keeps... It's like, I wish I could go to their graves and wake them up and say, please, just tell me what happened. Now, the man who I found out is my biological father, Marah. He died last year.
I was just about to say, when we did the book, he was still alive.
He was still alive. So I mean, I even, you know, but when I released the book, he only heard that I've written a book and he features in the book. And his daughters came, my sisters, my siblings.
Your paternal siblings.
My paternal siblings, his daughters. They came to the book launch. They were at the book launch. They were on the guest list. And they haven't done anything wrong to me. It's their dad I've got issues with.
Yes.
Our dad.
Yeah.
And he called me once. I was shooting when we were shooting The Queen. He says, Marah, I would like us to meet and talk. I hear that you wrote a book and I'm happy. You need to come over. And I says, I'm not going to do that. You owe my family big time. You actually insulted my family and me and True Blue. You did exactly what probably made my parents not want to meet you. In Sotho, you just put salt on the wound. So I'm not interested to come and see. I understand you're not well. I wish you well. You're in hospital. I wish you well. But
he's calling you from his deathbed?
Yeah, he's in hospital, but he was in and out of hospital. Okay. And they keep, my siblings keep saying, Mama, Sis Marah, please can you go and visit him? He's in Bloemfontein. And I says, I'm not driving to Bloemfontein. Now, to cut that long story short, he died in December.
Okay.
And I get a phone call, early hours of the morning. And they tell me, and I said, I've never felt nothing for anybody. When someone dies, even a neighbor, or you feel something.
Yeah. Thing.
And I just felt, may his soul rest in peace. That's all. And I said, well, may his soul rest in peace. But, listen to this. After saying this to the daughter, I said, well, I'm sorry to hear this. May his soul rest in peace. And then I says, thank you, Sissy, for letting me know. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I cried. You know why?
Why?
He died. He hasn't told me the truth.
And he's
also left with all those details.
So you
now I get conflicting stories since my book has been out.
From extended members of the family?
From extended members of the family, from some from my side of the family.
Yeah.
But some not even family, just ordinary people from the Eastern Cape. Yeah, who know the story. But that's what now is bugging me, Tabis. They make it sound like, I don't even want to think about it, but they make it sound like I don't know whether they're being influenced with what's going on in the country, the rape, the abuse of women and all that. I don't know if they are being influenced by that. But they make it sound like my True Blue and this man, it was not consensual,
He raped her.
They make it sound like he raped her.
And I'm saying he raped her because I want you to be able to, even if it's a question.
Yeah.
Because it sounds like you are struggling to fathom that it could have happened.
Yeah.
And there's what's happening now in South Africa and in the world, where women are being given spaces and voices to talk about the violence that their bodies have experienced at the hands of men. I don't think it's a new thing.
Yeah.
It's not a new thing.
Yeah.
Take it back to even Gadi slavery, when white men would do whatever they wanted with black women's bodies, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it's a new thing. I think we have a way. Everyone in general, actually, black people, because everyone comes from a culture of hush hush.
Hush hush. Yeah.
Because, and I mean, for anyone that's read your book, or for people that are going to read your book, that it almost, to me, it sounds probable. The lengths to which they went, your family went
hide this.
To hide this thing from you. Where your parentage. For me, it sounds possible.
Yeah.
And it also says that's why he could not reconcile himself.
Yeah.
With seeing you, with being around you, because maybe you reminded him of this awful thing that he'd done.
Yeah. Obviously, it was not consent. Is it consensual?
Yeah.
They were both young, school and boarding school, Noha.
Sure.
Yeah. And but I bear her in a way as if she was raped. So I can't. I'm finding it difficult to spew that. But when there was a family meeting, when he came, we wanted to come and see if they could all get together, if we can get his family and solve this thing. And Abuti was not in the right space in Mosho, because he just found himself saying things that I actually walked out. Arimoyena, Ariwena, Sman. You treated her like nja. Haye misfateng iroda isiye fela mo. That has been.
It's stuck with you.
It's stuck with me. And Abuti, you could tell from his face that he means what he's saying, and he's very angry. I walked out. I thought I can't listen to this anymore. I better just go and stand outside. And
also, it was an issue for your brother. It was an issue that had been brewing for over 50 years.
Yeah, it's been brewing for over 50 years. For the fact that after I found this man, I invited him to my home.
You invited everyone.
Invited everyone, and Abuti Ari, hey Tebo, what you did really upset me. Ari, if no sakala people like your friends, and because there were so many friends and family, and I would because I didn't understand guy. Now it means that thing it's much deeper than I can even imagine it.
Yeah, but also
that's why he kept saying, circumstances. What circumstances? Now he's gone.
With the answers.
With the answers. Which he probably couldn't bring himself to say, okay, this is what happened. That is the one thing when you talk about healing.
So the issue around your parentage has not...
Yeah, it's taking long, and the other day my daughter and I we put together a collage of photos when we want to frame them, different photos of.
Which ones did you pick? Because I think what people don't know, and I'm going to tell people this, that when we were doing the picture section of your book, so other authors will come in with an envelope. Of pictures.
And I brought a suitcase.
And then other people will send like a link to, like WeTransfer with maybe, like 50 pictures.
Yeah.
You brought a whole suitcase. I could not believe it. But anyway, my gosh.
Yeah.
And we said for months. I remember the first time I was left alone with it, I thought,
where do you start?
But eventually we were tilted down.
Yeah.
But okay, so you do this collage.
We're doing this collage, and I suddenly thought, the only person who knows what happened is this one. So I've put her face right in the center, which is True Blue.
Yeah.
She's the one who knows exactly what happened. Even my parents who brought me up, I grew up knowing they're my parents now. I know they're my grandparents, but I still can't find myself to call True Blue me.
Yeah, and it's so hard because I think had she lived, she probably would have told you the truth by now.
Yeah. But she tried to tell me in a roundabout way by giving me that small little photo.
Or the small little picture of your father.
And saying, don't ever lose this photo. And I'm like, why? Also, I must keep photo. Boyfriend. Why must I keep this photo? she was probably trying to give me a message without
giving away too much.
Because
I'm sure that the parents never must stop her. Maybe it's something she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And we know because when you had
Ratu,
they wanted to do the same thing.
Yes.
They wanted to,
Yeah.
And that's what, that's a thing that black families have where Mwana gets pregnant and then Bamurumela somewhere to have to give birthday, and then it's like the child did not happen.
Yeah.
And then suddenly there's a child and then the grandparents are raising that child. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so that part for me is still a hard one. I get people suggesting that I should maybe go for therapy. And I'm thinking, I think I've done enough therapy just talking about this.
Yeah.
I've got to find a way of healing from this, like closing that chapter. But I spoke to a priest, the Methodist Church, who's a very close. In fact, he came
to the launch.
My brother from another mother.
Yes.
And he said to me, Siswam, give it time. Don't force yourself to heal from this thing. We can't even say to you, we'll pray and you will heal. Give it time. You will get to a point one day where you won't cry anymore whenever you talk about it. And I'm praying for that.
It will happen. It will come.
Sometimes, when I'm happy, I could be happy, like in my best mood. And people come and visit at the house, and then they see these photos, because I've got those photos on the wall.
Yeah.
And they say, who's this beautiful lady in the center that says, that's my sister, True Blue. They say, oh, that's your mother.
And then it comes back.
Because I'm thinking, why can't I even pronounce that? Question, why was I denied to know the truth? Whatever it is. Why was I denied that?
And you'll never know, because they're all gone now.
I'll never know.
They're all gone now.
They're all gone.
I'm so worried because now people are going to think that the book is like nothing but tragedy and heartbreak. And I want us to touch on the happy highlight moment of your career, because you've had quite an illustrious career.
Oh, yes.
In fact, I don't think anyone in this country has had the kind of career that you've had from age 17.
From when I started. Yeah, from Gibson Kent.
Can I ask you to do on camera the thing that Gibson all Gibson? Can you say it on camera? Because
no, but Agib had his own. Now you must remember, I was actually young. So when they wrote me in to come and take over for a short while, not permanently, because the woman who played the role as Sikalo's girlfriend in the musical Sikalo, she was going to have a baby. So they needed someone. There was the Dikolo Dikokwalo, and that's when the production is busy, going around the country, So I went for rehearsals. So I'm sitting next to Pragib on the piano. The song is Sendenzenina Sikalo, right? But now he's showing me how I should do this. He goes, Sendenzenina Sikalo. I did exactly that. I was like, yeah. He turned and clapped me with his hand like, yeah. I can't sing like that. I can't do and clap, and I just got up and
but what are some of your favorite moments from your career?
My favorite was when I was in musicals. When I was doing musicals, big productions, playing different roles. The experience of working with international directors. I mean, when we did the musical Barnum, the director was an American because they understand the story. You know?
Yeah.
They've directed this, you know, and musicals such as Hairspray, musicals such as Fame, I Wanna Live Forever. Ah! Yes! I was in my, it's that for me were my
in
highlights.
your element.
Yeah. In fact, singing, when I sing, I'm in my best element. That's when I'm the happiest, when I'm singing. I love acting. I mean, acting came second. You know? Yeah.
Which is why it made sense for you to be a judge on Idols.
Yeah. It was because I knew exactly who. Yeah. Those now Idols. I enjoyed Idols. When it was the beginning stages.
Yeah, when it started.
The early auditions. Before they get to the top 10, when people's egos start getting bruised and things. Those moments of the funny people who really think they can sing.
Yeah.
Those were, for me, the best. I've lived a good life.
You have.
Yeah.
You have. And I'm very glad that it's
I have,
all in the book.
You know, there's times when I feel, hey, I could have achieved more. But I don't have any regrets. And yes, there have been some funny moments in my life. There's been a lot of laughter. You know.
What has been your favorite thing about being a published author?
Hey, you know, just that word as well.
Yeah.
Now,
should I say it again?
Yes, author.
A published author.
A published author. A published author. You know what? Of all the things that I've done, it was the last thing that I thought I would ever be. Now, when I fill in, you know, the CV. So now I'm writing singer, actress, author.
Yes.
Yeah. So when I'm being introduced, like if I'm doing an event somewhere, Marah, how do we introduce you? Giri, you introduce me. Marah is a singer, actress, author.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I'm going to add published author.
Published, yeah, because everyone can be an author, but published is a different thing.
Yeah.
And I don't want us to, you know, go into the book a lot, and I don't want us to go on forever because this is a YouTube channel, and this is data, and we know data in South Africa is not very cheap, so that people have actually stayed with us for this, the episode still is long. Yeah. So I want us to wrap it up.
Yes.
Will you be writing another book?
Yes. I think I've been bitten by the writing bug.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And being in
Tabby, I need to say something.
Okay.
You haven't got a clue how excited I was the first time when I met you. And the day when you called me for the next meeting to break the news that, yes, you are going to publish my book. That was unbelievable experience. For me, as a young woman, what you're doing is absolutely fantastic. Telling the stories of younger generation, older generation, myself, and everybody else, especially women. And getting women to talk about issues, you know. When you didn't censor certain things, that made me even more happy. You know, because there are certain publishers who might say, "Hi, Mama, you know, that story we can't." Yeah, we can't. So you just... And one of the best things, your suggestion of wherever you feel like writing Kasisutu is the way you had the conversation. Yeah. Go for it. And that's one of the comments I've been getting from people. But when they read the book, they feel as if I'm sitting there telling the story. Yeah, it's not like a book with big English words and dictionary.
That's not what we're trying to do.
Well, first of all, English is not our it's not our tongue.
And I want, if someone knows cooking oil as fish oil.
Exactly.
And you're telling a story that is centered around what twice a time fish oil.
Fish oil.
Then fish oil it is.
Give fish oil.
Give fish oil. Yeah. Colgate. Yes. You know, that's what it is.
So for me, that was the biggest relief. You know, I don't have to sit and find a dictionary and try and find this expensive word. Instead of just using simple English. I'm not an English woman. But I didn't see them as Makhoa. You know, like what happened the day after my wedding.
Yes.
To be you to go bathroom, and suddenly you know it. What have I done? This is during apartheid. son, I married a white man. There was another voice that says, no, you haven't done anything wrong, you know. You married a human being. You married a good human being. And I woke up and I walked out of the bathroom and I looked at him. He was fast asleep. And I said, actually, he's not white. He's pink.
We must sign off. Thank you so much for coming and being our first guest on our BlackBird Books.
Thank you for making
it. Doesn't even have a name. We'll just we'll see as it goes what happens with it. Thank you so much. Send us your suggestions, your questions. We'll try answer them. We are on Twitter at _BlackBird Books. I am on Tabiso Bonita. On Instagram as well, and we look forward to hearing from you. And how can we make this experience better for you? How can we give you content that you want to see, that you want to hear, so that we may all make like reading and books a pleasurable and wholesome process and event for everyone.
And let's promote our black female writers.
Let's
buy the books and promote and help those young black women who are writing books, young and I'm not old, I'm still growing.
Bye-bye.